I told you I found you a perfect match? Chosen by science, but you had to marry them right this second. You would tell me, well, that sounds pretty whack. And I would add, you have 8 weeks to know if you really love them. You just got married at first sight. Jason and Aysha gonna tell you wrong from right. Are all these couples just disasters waiting to happen? Imagine if one of them could be a perfect match.
What if I told you I found you a perfect match? Just, channeling my inner Kirsten. Hello, welcome to A Perfect Match. I'm Aysha. And I'm here with my co-host who would not agree to sing with me this week, Jason Reed. Jason, how are you?
Hey, Aysha, we've been on this podcasting journey for so long, too long. 19 episodes, too long. Aysha, I'm good. We're in episode 19. And if you would have asked me before episode 19, do you need an episode 19? I would have said no. But then Kirsten sang, and it made it all worth it, to be honest.
Did it though?
Listen, we talked in the pre-show. We have two different opinions on this episode. I found a good amount of things to laugh at and enjoy in this episode. You do not appreciate this episode. You hate this episode. You want this episode to go in the trash.
This episode could go in the bin, as some may say. I just feel like I want every episode to be a progression forward. Move the story along, folks. Okay? This episode, like we've discussed in the past, of some of the previous episodes, this was the ish they should have shown. This belonged in that dump of an episode. Not this is the penultimate episode before decision day.
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as an episode has enough for me to laugh at and make fun of, I think I'm good. So, like, for the retreat episodes, there was not enough for me to laugh at or make fun of. So those were just god-awful episodes that you could have definitely just thrown in the trash. This episode, I had some good stuff to talk about and to laugh at. So I think I'm good with this episode.
Yeah, maybe, I mean, hey, as some may know, I had a very adventurous week. So maybe I just wanted something to be just a relief from that.
Aysha was jet setting. Aysha was jet setting all over the globe. She didn't have she looked at this as a obligation she had to take care of, so she didn't want an episode. It's like, oh, I just got in from Canada and I gotta watch this stupid episode of this stupid show, talk to this stupid guy about this stupid show.
No. Look, I would have been pleased if it was an entertaining episode. But yeah, I had a very chaotic journey to Canada, to Toronto. My flight got delayed 6 times. Then it got canceled. Then I rebooked for a layover in Chicago. Then that flight got delayed by 2.5 hours. So therefore, I missed my connection. Thankfully, they gave me a hotel. I stayed overnight in Chicago for no reason. Dang. And then I made it to Toronto on Wednesday and had a blast. So...
Well, I mean, a lot of delays. As I told you on Twitter, they had to chill the champagne for you in first class. And that takes a minute. So that's why everything was delayed, why you got held up. If you would have just taken the coach or economy class, I think you would have been fine. But you need to ride in a lap of luxury. So that's all kind of on you.
Hey, look. That is, I definitely do want to fly first class one day, but that day has not come yet.
Yeah,
Jason.
as if she doesn't all the time. She's like, oh, I want to fly first class one day. Private jets just so expensive. I just want to summit one day and go in first class.
Oh my goodness!
I see you.
Okay, whatever. It's just because you have FOMO from the entire week.
I do. Every time I see this, our happy events and everyone's smiling and, doing your little escape rooms and your little live podcasts. I'm just sitting at home seething and wishing I was there, but kind of wishing I was not there because I don't do well in social situations. It's a mixed bag of emotions.
You're all over the place internally.
Truly.
But yes, we are here to talk about this episode 19. We do find out episode 20 is decision day. Thank the Lord.
Finally.
Finally. I mean, we could have predicted episode 20 would be decision day, but from the pace of things, it just felt like, who knows?
And I think we might have 5 more weeks, y'all, of this show, even after next week. Because, I mean, I think there are going to be 3 post-decision day episodes.
Oh, we need reunion.
And then 2 reunions is my guess. I don't have it confirmed, but that's my guess.
We'll see y'all in the summer, y'all. We are going to ride this horse to the wheels fall. Is it? No, not horse. Horses don't have wheels. Ride this cart until the wheels fall off, because it makes no sense. When did we start podcasting about this season? January 5th.
I mean, it's been about 5 months, right?
That is appalling, Jason.
That is that.
Name another show that podcasts every week for 5 months. And it's going to be 6 if we have 5 more weeks.
Yeah, I can't. I don't think there's any other show that does that.
Even The Bachelor and Bachelorette are shorter.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, we have a month maybe collectively off a year, like in this covering this show.
That's when I really milk my Thursdays. I'm like, what can I do today that I don't ever get to do?
I feel so free for some reason.
Right. What is this? What is this freedom I feel? But no, it is fun talking about this show. And it does. I mean, and I honestly will say some of these seasons, like with this being my 5th season covering it on the podcast, a couple of these seasons I probably would have fallen off.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I hadn't been podcasting about it, it's just like, okay, where are we going? But we stick it out. We see it through. We get every detail we can in order to get enough evidence for why people make the decisions that they do on decision day.
Yeah, it's I mean, compared to something like Love is Blind, where I think every season I have felt like for sure that there's just not enough footage, there's not enough reasoning for anything that happens in Love is Blind. Here we have the reasoning. We have heard it 1,000 times. We know why these people are making the decisions they're making, and would they get into depth about it. If we could just get a nice middle ground of like a 12 to 16 episode season, decision days and reunions all included in that, I think we would be a-okay.
We would be perfectly happy and content. I'm sure of it. But make sure, if y'all are out there listening and you have not yet, go subscribe to our Love at First Sight feed. Make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and review, and we would love to shout it out. This week, I have one from Apple Podcasts. This is a confusing one because it's 2 stars, but the comment leads me to believe you feel like a 5-star. So if you're listening to this, go out there and correct it if you can. We would appreciate it. But this is from Brian T. Brian with the I as a 1. So Brett 1 and T. The title is Recap 18, Best One Yet. 4 exclamation marks. Already doesn't feel like 2 stars.
Yeah.
It says, I've been listening to this podcast for a while, but this one was one of the best yet. Jason and Aysha took a mundane episode and provided loud laughter and tears rolling down my face. Meeting Kirsten's dad, quote unquote, Jasper, was so funny. I listened to it twice. Thanks for brightening my day.
Burr 1 and T. Sounds like a 5-star review to me if I ever heard one. I mean,
if I've ever heard one.
Maybe your finger slipped. We've had that before. But if you can, give your people the 5 stars. It sounds like that you're trying.
Yeah, if you're able to modify it at all, let us know.
Yes. I'm gonna hit one of the Canada reviews because that's our last US review, you guys, for right now. So I mean, Canada's coming in to save you. Canada, eh? You should have read the Canada one. You were there recently, so you could have, done the accent
I
correctly.
was looking at all the Tim Hortons and
Tim Hortons, eh?
I had a really good chicken and waffles that had the best secret recipe maple syrup. And the Canadian podcasters were like, hey, you're in Canada. We know something about maple. So I was like, okay, you're right. This tastes delicious.
So this Canadian review is from Jaja Gabor. It is just titled Great. Thorough coverage, casual without straying off topic too much, which many podcasts in this genre are guilty of. I don't know about any other podcasts in this genre because we are, of course, the only MAFS podcast.
We're in a league of our own.
Of course. Thank you so much, Jaja, for that review. We only have one other review we can read for next week. So unless you guys want to hear some, Black Eyed Peas, let's get it started, I would get those reviews in. Otherwise, if you thought Kirsten was bad, you just wait.
That's a high bar.
Yeah.
The confidence.
We'll
get into it.
The unearned confidence. The audacity to have that much confidence.
I can't on live television. Okay. Before we get started talking about this episode, we do want to highlight our amazing Facebook group. Make sure you go search A Perfect Match Podcast, where we have 600 plus people talking about Married at First Sight that are part of this group. And we have a great time. We talk about social media updates. We talk about stuff from the episode, any highlights we see during the week. It's a great community. You just want to continue to be active with the show throughout the week. So make sure you go join the Facebook group. This week, the password is
740. I got that 740 outside. Just one of them. 740. Pull up.
The rest are at the house. It's just that one outside because I couldn't drive 2 cars here.
If I could, I would. I'd drive all my cars down here, but I'm still only human. I'll take only one.
Right. Exactly. So yes, please go join the Facebook group. We have a great time in there. We'll accept you if you put the Facebook password and you agree to the group rules. Let's get started. Kirsten, let's talk about Kirsten and Shaq since we have been talking about this singing so much. So they have this date that Shaq has planned where they're meeting up with this singer, quote unquote. We're meeting up with this singer-songwriter. She's asking them about their lives so that she can make them a personalized song. We get a confessional from Shaq and he's like, Nashville is Music City. So why not create a song together? And so they tell him they tell the singer-songwriter, tell her it's been an emotional roller coaster. They have their good days, their bad days. Shaq suggests from the beaches to the mountains. And then the songwriter is singing and trying to make it come together.
Shaq's like, I got it. Hold on. I got it. One call away, I'll be right where you're at.
Not Boom. A rhyme in sight.
Boom, drop the mic. Songwriter's like, oh my gosh, I have a lyricist. So good.
She's like, where have you been? You could be the co-writer on all of my music. So the singer sings a piece of the song. Kirsten, with all the audacity in the world, copies her, right? And it's just I'm just I hear something, I'm copying it. Mm-hmm. And then the songwriter is like, hey, why don't you sing a verse? Kirsten's like, okay, words. Sure. Gets up there on the mic. She couldn't find the.
She's like, where's the tune at? Where's the tune? She's looking all around. I can't find a tune.
Where's the note?
Can't find the notes.
It's like the notes here. She's like, and then it goes here. And then it goes there.
Here? Is it here? Where is it? Damn, I lost it. She lost everything. She lost the beat. She lost the tone. She lost the note. The unmitigated gall to think this was a good idea. And Shaq was just sitting there you're gonna be so embarrassed. You're not gonna want to see this back. Like,
he should have hit her with one of those like wrap it up. Let's let the songwriter do it. That'll be great.
The guy from the from like Showtime at the Apollo should have come out from somewhere and just got her with the cane. Like, yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Just get her out of there, please. I literally cringed. I was like, oh, like I had to, like, what?
Yeah, because like usually in one of these situations, you would think it's like, okay, if you're gonna contribute to a song, okay, I may not be Beyonce, but I can hold a note, right? Like I can at least get by. She wasn't even getting by.
She had the nerve to put her like hand on her ear, like she was in the recording studio and she was doing something, like hitting the high, and I was like,
that probably made it worse. Now you're working with one ear.
Oh.
It was. It was. I mean, the look on his face seemed to be like he was enjoying it. I don't know.
He was enjoying the embarrassment she was going to feel later. And I don't know I wonder if she's even aware of how bad it is. Because, I mean, American Idol made a living off of people thinking they could sing and, you know, not being able to actually sing and embarrassing themselves on national TV. That's how American Idol started out. They don't do that anymore. But that's how they started out, by embarrassing people on TV and tell them they suck, you know, live to their face.
The move here for Kirsten would have been to rap it out.
Yeah.
You got the singing. Let me hit a couple bars in my speaking voice. Because then this will be great.
Yeah.
She said, I'm gonna sing.
I feel like she thought she could do it. I feel like she thought she had it. She thought that this was gonna be the hit of the century, that, you know, this is gonna be on MAFS soundtrack from now on. They were gonna use this next season for a background music. She thought she had it down.
She really did.
Listen, we can't forget one of the big stars of the scene, Wade Wilson, the little bunny.
Oh yeah, the bunny hopping around the song studio.
Whose name was Wade Wilson, who I know that you don't appreciate this because you are a Marvel hater. But that is the name of Deadpool. That's Deadpool's real name.
I watch Deadpool. That's one of the ones I watch.
Oh, okay. That's one of the ones I watch. Figures, it's not part of the MCU, so you are not a hater of it. I wonder why she named her rabbit after Deadpool. I would like the backstory on that one.
Maybe she just loved it. That was just you sometimes you just hold on to a name, and that's the name.
Hey. Don't get me to hating. I don't, you know.
Don't get me to hating. You already start. I was thinking, like, for those that aren't watching the episode, I think it would be beneficial for them to hear Kirsten sing this piece.
Have you pulled it up?
I mean, I'm trying. Well, I'm trying to find it. There's a TikTok audio that's like, I'm finding it. I'm finding it. That's what I would have to say. But I don't. Well, you tell me what you thought about the date concept overall, so I can find this sound.
The date concept, I mean, it's a good idea, I suppose, to have your own song written for. I wonder how often this lady does this, and if it's always kind of the same song anytime she does this, and she's just kind of making a living off of selling the same song to the same people all the time. I do like that they, you know, decided to stay there and have their little conversation outside.
Yeah, I feel like it would be a great success if she just sings it. Like, don't get the people involved, right?
Nah, yeah.
Like, that's
even if they want to, like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. I had a bad experience with this reality show. They came and they thought they could sing, and my sales really went down after that.
Right. So here we go. Here's a clip. Here's a piece. Here's a snippet of Kirsten singing. Here we go.
To be right, trusting in the process, and everything will be all right.
Oh my.
And then for the lady to say, way to sing out.
Yes, good job.
Yes,
This lady has done
sis.
this 1,000 times. She's like, great job. You did fantastic. You should go down to the wherever they call the Nashville bars and go sing your heart. You got a record deal,
You
and
got
you girl.
this, sweetie.
My gosh, you sound like a multi-platinum. Is that you, Mariah? I would have swore.
I thought Beyonce was in Sweden. She's in Nashville. Oh gosh. But I mean, the lady, so she does end up putting together the song, and she does keep a little bit of Kirsten's part. And it does sound like one of those songs they already use like on the show, like during transitions and stuff.
Yep.
It's like she could be one of those people. So they take it outside. Well, before they take it outside, the songwriter does tell Kirsten, keep singing. So,
maybe you'll get good one day. Who knows?
Yeah. So they go outside, they sit on the porch, and he says,
I do like how everybody in this episode just bogarted where they were at. We're just gonna have a picnic or a talk right on your property. I know you're not set up for that, but we're just gonna do it anyway because we're here already.
Right. Every date is a two-parter.
Yeah.
Can you think of that? Like the last date you and your wife went on that was like a doing something type of date. Did you have like a sit down portion after?
No. I mean, not in the same vicinity. Like we didn't do something, then sit down and have dinner right there.
Mm-hmm. So that's not the norm.
Like we didn't mini golf and sit down on one of the holes and have dinner. Like we didn't do that.
Oh, I thought that was the framework. So,
yeah. I brought a picnic to have on this mini golf course.
Yeah. So they sit down on this porch. Shaq says that this has been his best date. So like he's like tooting his own horn.
Because I got to watch you just totally embarrass yourself. I had such a good time.
Kirsten brings up how like her dad doesn't want to film, and you know they can have time with her family after this process is over. And she asks him, does he believe her? And she's like, I believe it. He's like, I believe it. And he just says he wants to feel secure in this marriage. And at times he just doesn't know if he does. They cut to commercial. They come back. And she's like, what security do you need? Because he says he needs the security. So she said, what security do you need? He's like, it's a support thing. Support is a big thing. And that's something I've needed since day one. She says, I'm here for you. He says he believes her when she says that. He just wants to make sure that they are both happy.
I mean, how many times do we have to have the same conversation?
At least 4 more times.
Yeah, she literally asks us, what do you need to feel secure? He just says, I just need a sense of security. Okay, that's not specific. Give me specific things I can do for you. Not, I don't know, just security and support. What does that mean to you? Spell it out for me like I'm 5, like I'm dumb. Please, just tell me what you want.
Just support me and make me feel secure.
Like you could have just cut that out. We don't even need a date after the date. Just get rid of it.
This whole thing could have been sliced. Well, for me, the whole episode, but
I do like how she said, you know, my dad doesn't want to film. You can meet everybody after the 8 weeks. It's just like a, you know, trust me, it'll get better after the 8 weeks. Just say yes.
Stick around. It'll be better. Promise. He's like hanging on to this promise when he already like feels away. It's not going to work. So Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper sat down with a couple couples this season or this episode. So they sat down with Kirsten and Shaq. They come in and there are vinyls as their coaster.
Yeah, they said it was from the wedding.
The wedding?
Yeah, I think they said it was from the wedding. It was like little party favors, I guess, from the wedding or something.
Gotcha. And Dr. Pepper asks, like, how have they grown? And Kirsten says they've been learning each other one day at a time. They've learned how to hear each other when they're speaking. She's learned to lean on him. And then Shaq chimes in and says he feels like they are on 2 different boats. And he's like, when are we going to get on the same boat? And he feels like it's often the communication. And then Dr. Pepper brings up, so you met her dad. And I was like, What?
Since when? What? Excuse me?
Right.
That was a shocker because I mean, we thought that house they were sitting outside of might have been Kirsten's dad's house, but when it wasn't, I was like, oh, okay, guess we're not meeting Kirsten's dad today.
Yeah.
And then for Dr. Pepper just to drop it like in the conversation, I was just thinking, wow.
Yeah, I was like,
that's a way to do that.
Yeah, literally. Okay. So we get a flashback to a day ago where he met her dad. They get back in the car, and Shaq's like, he's cool.
Because I can't allow no cell phones in here, the smartphones. You know that's how they track you, right? That's how they get you. That's how I stay off the government radar. You remember, sweetie, you can't bring in no electronics. Yes, Daddy, we left him in the car. Okay, all right, you come on in there. Come on in.
Well, Jasper, what did you think of Shaq?
He was a nice guy. A little too bald for my taste. Can't don't usually trust bald men. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason their hair's gone. That's all they tell you. It must have been probably that cell phone. He hold up to his ear. You give him makes the hair go away. But he was fine. He was a nice young man.
Right. Do you feel like he's too busy for Kirsten?
I mean, I was too busy. You see how that turned out. So he got to take some stuff down. You know what I mean? You got to be there for your woman.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
For that insight. So Kirsten did say that her dad said, come back, grab a beer or whatever. And Shaq said it felt great. It felt great, but why can't we have done this sooner? Why couldn't it have happened a few weeks ago?
It's never good enough. It's always a but with Shaq. But it should have happened sooner. Okay, you met the guy. That's
what you were asking
that's
for.
What you just be happy, man. Just you got what you needed. You liked him. You sat down. He didn't kill you.
Right.
You're good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, what? I don't get because like, okay, if that was going to always be the case, if you were always going to feel like why couldn't it have happened sooner, then he would never have been happy, no matter at what point he met him.
Yeah. I think it's just been the white whale.
Yeah.
And so he finally caught the white whale. Maybe he's not happy that he caught the white. He was like, there's nothing else to look forward to now. I gotta find something else to complain about.
Yeah. Yeah. So Dr. Pepper does remind him families operate differently.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Pepper, for setting him straight on this. And I don't know if he got the message or not. He's like, yeah, you can't expect everyone's family to be the same.
Right. He's like, no, but my family is right in the way that they approach things.
Exactly. Yeah. There's the wrong way to do things and the right way to do things. My family does things the right way. Hers does things the wrong way, apparently. But as you said, Dr. Pepper, can't expect it to be the same. But I know I prefer a family that supports me. That's all I'm
saying. Right. Pastor Carl does tell them that they just have to see the beauty in each other.
Oh, he also says you are a great example of a power couple, like the big PC power couple that Pastor Carl just loves to throw around. You're a power couple.
He wants a power couple so bad.
So bad.
I think his last power couple was Imani and Woody.
I mean, you mean the last successful one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if would you call Brianna and Vincent a power couple?
Oh, good point. They could be.
I think Woody and Imani more fit the power couple example. They seem like they're both kind of boss people. They're both kind of, they have it. I don't know if I would say that Brianna and Vincent have it. They seem more of a laid back couple.
Right.
Than Woody and Imani. Woody and Imani seem to be driven for success or something. I don't know what exactly I'm trying to say, but
I feel like Vincent though was trying to put that forth, and Brianna was an engineer, so it was like she wasn't having to like force it or anything.
Yeah.
But Brianna I don't know if they were presenting that as a couple.
Yeah, Brianna has her career already. It seems like Woody and Imani are both hustlers, if that makes sense. Brianna, I feel like probably is fine with her life. She's happy. She's got her engineering job. She's good. Vinny is probably somewhat of a hustler, but yeah, power couple. Yeah. I think Woody and Imani would fit that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so there was a group outing with the guys and the girls because this is like the last day before decision day, but we're gonna get to that at the end. So with Kirsten and Shaq, after those two group outings, they get in their bed. she hits him with she hits his head with the cover, and she's like, I gotta knock some sense into you since it's the last night. And so then she prays things are done according to God and his will, and Shaq just says, Lord, it's on you now. They're just freeing themselves of any responsibility.
Look, listen, it's in God's hands now. He's gonna tell me what to do. So
if I say no, that was the big man upstairs.
He's gonna be like, when he says no, he's gonna be like the football players when they like score a touchdown or kick a field goal. Just that's you got.
Yep, right.
I'll go to you.
Oh, I was like, they just love to get rid of. Like, there is one thing to lead on God, to order your steps, but to just be like, y'all are not on the same page. Y'all have not done the work to get on the same page, to just be leaving it up to God.
I guess that's just the way God wanted it. I mean,
he just wanted us in two different boats.
I just don't know what you want me to say.
Two different boats. That's it. All right. So that's it for Kirsten and Shaq this week. What would you rate them on a scale of 1 to 5? 1 being that they are going to still be together by decision day or by the reunion. 5 being they'll be together by the reunion. 1 being that they will not.
I just don't get the feeling that Shaq is really into this really at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna stick with my 2 because I feel like he's just not into it. He's sick of her mess. She didn't have mess. He met the dad and it still wasn't ecstatic. Like, oh, this was the last hurdle. I can't wait to, stay married to you. Like, this was the last thing we need to get to check off our list. He's still like, yeah, but I don't feel secure. I don't feel supported. So yeah, I think it's a 2 for me.
Yeah, and I'm actually. I know we've both been a 2. I'm actually leaning towards going to a 1 because it just feels like Shaq is just not happy. And you would think, like, for him to harp so much on wanting to meet her dad, for him to meet her dad and then still not be satisfied because now it's a timing thing. I feel like I don't know what he was looking for, but he didn't find it in meeting her dad. Like, I don't know if he was looking for some, like, he even said it that he's like, oh, I could see her dad being my dad, or like being like a father figure to me.
Yeah, he says that later, and I'm like, were you like looking for a father figure in this instead of a wife? Are you on the wrong show? Were you looking for a daddy at first sight? What were you looking for?
And it'd be different if he was saying that, but also, like, I'm glad that I finally met him. Like, I think this is great for me and Kirsten. But it feels like, no, still, why didn't she introduce us sooner?
It seems he's more annoyed that he can't use that on decision day.
Yeah.
As an excuse to back out of this.
He's
well,
like, dang it.
I still haven't met her dad, so I can't go any further with this. So, sorry.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to go down to a 1.
Okay, I get it. Do you want to do official predictions for decision day since we are the episode before? Of who's going to say yes, who's going to say no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's do that.
Right. What you got?
I think that Kirsten is going to say yes. I think that Shaq will say no.
I think they're both going to say yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's a bold move.
I think so. I think for most of these people, it's going to be about we'll give it more time.
Yeah, I'm saying yes to more time.
And we had so much talk about when the cameras go away, it's going to be a lot better. Little do they know, maybe they do know or they don't know, what we're following you still after decision day. So you're still going to have cameras even after decision day for a little bit.
3 whole episodes.
Yeah. So I don't know if they know that or not, but there's so much talk of like, once the cameras leave after decision day, things will get better after all the chaos is gone and all the blah, blah, blah. It was Shaq and Kirsten and Jasmine and Arris both really harped on that. Like, once the cameras go, we'll be fine. We have so much to talk about. Like we're not having all the cameras in our face all the time. But
Definitely.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot better.
So which couple do you want to talk about next?
Let's go to Arris and Jasmine. We come in with Arris. He's at a gym with who other than the guest star for the second week in a row.
Wow.
Friggin' Mac. They're training with a trainer. They're doing some boxing. They're both pretty bad at it. Mac is kind of flailing his arm and hitting the punching bag or whatever. The trainer is, I guess they're in some kind of like competition thing, and the trainer's like, "Oh, Mac Daddy, Arris beat you." Like, oh, okay, cool. They sit down and talk at the gym because that's what you do when you go train at the gym. You sit down, crisscross applesauce, and talk to your buddy in the middle of the gym. Mac wants to know how it's going. Arris says, I'm at peace. The attraction isn't quite there yet, but we're focusing on the positives more and meeting with the experts. And, Dr. Pia really helped me to redefine intimacy and give me a different perspective. At least we'll sleep in the same bed together. It's not like we're Clint and Gina-ing it. I was like, oh, shade.
It's like, okay, shade.
Shady. He says there's a world where he says yes on decision day, and to see what happens when all the
not
camera
this
and stress
world,
are on. Not
but a world,
another a world, not this one, but another one. He says, so Mac, I heard about some sliding going on in some DMs. Mac says, yeah, I did slide in Gina's DMs, but it's only to see if he can hook up with a celebrity singer that she knows. I said, what? Wait, what? This was a letdown of all letdowns. Right?
Yes.
They hyped this one clip, they hyped up in every single commercial for months.
5 months.
For months. And it was this big of a letdown. But was this true? Was this true? Was this so he could, hook up with some celebrity friend of hers? Or was this just a toe dip in the water to get conversation started?
Right. Like, is it do guys still do that at this age where they try to like he's saying this just to see, like, is she going to be jealous by this at all? Or,
Yeah, I mean, if you are trying to toe dip in the water to get conversation started, this is not a good way to do it. Be like, I am so interested in someone else, not you, but someone could you hook me up with them?
Yeah, exactly.
It seems like he's just this nobody. It's like, hey, can you hook me up with your celebrity friend? Why would my celebrity friend want to talk to you back? You're
right. Mac. He says but it's like I think it is the open the door thing, because he says like he still thinks Gina's attractive and that he would go on a date with her if she were single.
Yeah, he says, she's good looking. We're like-minded. I'd go out with her if not that I'm looking, not that I'm trying to do anything. Yeah, sure, Mac. But Mac
I mean, if the opportunity presented itself.
Listen, if something happens. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not averse to it. Obviously, Gina probably finds me attractive, so I'm not going to say no.
We know Gina loves me.
Yeah, I mean, that's obvious. In another confessional, Mac says if Clint and Gina get divorced, he would definitely try to initiate something to see where it goes. All right, Mac, shoot your shot.
He has been shooting his shot for 8 weeks. He has been saying this woman was attractive since the honeymoon.
The honeymoon. We should have seen this coming a mile away.
Yeah.
We do get Cal and Pepper visiting Jasmine and Arris. They just didn't visit Chris and Nicole. They're just like, yeah, you're fine.
They're like, we're gonna waste our time.
Not worried about it. We're just gonna
hear about them finding an apartment after decision day. No.
Right. We're just gonna visit our problem children. So they come visit Jasmine and Arris. Pepper asks, how's it going? Arris says, we're using the tools we got from the experts. We've made a little progress. Not really where we exactly want to be, but it's still progress. Pepper says, what do you call progress? Jasmine says, we've been talking more. We've been making sure we're greeting each other. We are holding hands. We're hugging. Dr. Pepper lies and says, that's a lot of progress. Isn't
That's great.
That's awesome. Pastor Kyle wants to talk about, how do you affect one another? Have you rubbed off on each other? Take that any way you would like. Arris says, well, she is speaking up more. She's a little more, she's a little more outgoing than he is. And being around her helps us social anxiety and helps him be a little more comfortable in these social situations. Usually you'd have to, have a drink or something to get it more loosened up. But since she's come into his life, he's a little more comfortable in these social situations. Cal says, "Oh, that's great. That's a big deal." He asks, "How do you feel about the other person being changed by you?" Jasmine says, "I love having an effect on someone. I love mentoring. So it's really good for me to help people be better." Arris says, "It's good to have someone behind him and of course correct him." He as he says this, he touches her and like to kind of intimate, move me in the right direction. And Cal goes, "Oh, do that again."
Guys, he's not kidding. He literally said, "Do that again."
Do that again. Go ahead. Do it again.
And
Slower.
I want y'all to know out there listening, I personally asked, I personally called Jason up on the phone. I said, "I need you to do Jasmine and Arris' section because we got creepy Uncle Cal on high alert."
Do it
This
again.
is for my own enjoyment, just
Do
so
it
y'all
again.
know.
This time, caress her a little bit as you're doing it. Just for me. He puts his glass. I wish I had fake glasses. He pushes his glasses down, just like get a better look. Like, do it again. So Cal says, there's good material here, and you're, what you're doing here is you're also, by doing all this stuff, you're experiencing more intimacy. Arris says, "Yeah, we've built a really good foundation. Without all this extra stuff, meaning, the cameras and all that, a spark could happen." Jasmine sits up in her seat. She's like, oh, really? You think a spark could happen? Oh, please tell me. Pepper tells them to look at each other in the eyes and tell each other what they like about each other. Arris tells Jasmine, "I love that you're open to things. You listen." And the process has been hard for her, but she's shown so much strength with all the put downs I give you. I love that he said, "You really listen," like she's like a small child or a dog of some sort. "You really listen to me." She tells him that she likes that he is patient with her, not being able to open up and communicate, and that he is pushing her to be better at those things. Pepper says, "You guys have held each other in the most important ways." Kyle says, "Yeah. And I love the hand placement." Because
this is accurate. This is word for word, Pastor Cal, y'all. Jason is not kidding. He said exactly that. I love your hand placement.
This is a good development though, because Arris does have his like hand on her butt. Yeah. And Pastor Cal says, I like that. You should do it some more. Maybe cup it. And then slap it a little bit. Just one time for me. Just one time for Uncle Pastor Cal. Do it for an old man. Jasmine says there is a possibility of it working if they put in the work, but some days it feels like he's in and some days he's out. She wants to do things not just to do them, but to really change things. Cal says, you can't really tell if the marriage is going to work or not until you try it outside of the experiment, which is an interesting thing for Pastor Cal to say as the head of this experiment.
What? Like what? When
did we start your theory?
That advice? Oh, maybe if you just say yes to more time, it could actually work. I'm sorry, that's not the experiment.
Because this experiment is BS. Let's all be real here. It's not going to work until you try it after the experiment. That's where you're going to really get the real value
experiment
of this.
Is after the experiment.
Yeah. Just forget all this. This is just nonsense. After the experiment is where the real stuff happens.
Like what?
I think you said the quiet part out loud, Pastor Cal.
Yes. Production's like, wait, what?
What? But they left it in.
They did. You can't say a marriage is or isn't working until outside of this. What?
We were supposed to be in this experiment to prove whether or not we could be married. Now you're saying we have to take this outside of this experiment to see if it'll work, Pastor Cal. Really? That's what you're going to go with?
He's just like, look, I'm trying anything.
I just want to get our success rate up to people that say yes on decision day. That's what I'm looking for.
He's like, I want to go 4 for 4.
I only get my bonus if we go 4 for 4. Okay.
He's like, if we tell Clint and Gina to watch, what is it, Miss Daisy?
Driving Miss Daisy.
Driving Miss Daisy. If we tell Jasmine and Arris, they have to try outside of the experiment because that's the only way it's going to work. I think we got something.
We can make this happen, Pep. We can make it happen. We can get 4 for 4.
Yeah.
I would love to be a fly on the wall, like in Pepper and Cal's private conversations, just to see their like text thread or to see a conversation between them off camera. Like, oh boy, we really effed this up now, didn't we? We
Come to find out they don't
we-
talk.
we didn't do nothing. These stupid casting people brought these people here, not us. Like, I just imagine that's the type of conversations that we're seeing. You can believe these idiots they brought here to us?
Pastor
And
Cal's
then,
like,
and then the fans gonna blame us for this.
Yeah. Pastor Cal's like, I don't know how much longer I could do this. But I feel like we've done 16 seasons. How much longer you got left in you?
She's on 16. He's on what, 12?
Oh, he joined on what, season 3?
Yeah, she's tired. Like, are you not tired, Dr. Pepper? Like, what?
Dr. Pepper's gonna stick around just as long as Jeff Probst with Survivor. 44 seasons.
Cal said there's only 2 couples on this season having sex. I don't know if I can keep doing this. I need more action. I need more.
Oh god.
Arris and Jasmine go kayaking, and it really is just a bunch of nothing.
Yes, literally.
They have a successful time kayaking. They talk about how their teamwork is helping them, blah blah blah. They sit down and have a picnic. He asks her, so are you confident in your answer for decision day? She says, well, she really goes back and forth on what she's going to do. He says he's pretty comfortable where he is with his decision. And the changes he was hoping to see in her, she has worked on them. She's getting out of her shell more. I hate the way that he talks about her and her progress. And I hate the way that she feeds into it.
Same. It feels very much so. It could be like big brother, little sister. Like,
yeah. That's good.
I'm
I gave
so
you this
proud
advice
of her for just like being able to like come into her own and just like speak up and have more confidence.
More like a manager to their like subordinate.
Yeah.
I told you how to improve your performance, and you did, and you went and you did the steps, you did the things I suggested to you, and look at you now.
Yeah.
And she's always, thank you so much for making me better. Stop it. She says that she has given 1,000%, and she is at peace knowing she will have no regrets. She's going to put in all of her effort, and what comes from that comes from that. In a confessional, she knows there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be put in, with him being more intentional if they stay together. Things are going to have to change if they're to be successful. Yeah, no kidding. So that was their segments, by themselves. We'll get to more of them later down the line with the group outing. Let's go to ratings. Where are you with your rating?
So with Jasmine and Arris, I've been in a consistent 1 since episode 8. So I don't see any reason to break the trend. I feel like Arris, he puts on this smile. I don't know if you started to notice in the most recent episodes. He's been putting on this smile as in like, yep, I'm a good boy. I'm doing great, right? I'm doing what a husband should do.
Yeah, it really feels like he's going through the motions and trying to be, in a way, he's trying to be teacher's pet to the experts for some reason.
Yes.
He says, I'm doing all the things you told me to do. I promise. I swear. I've been a good boy. And I like the way that Patrick Cal is trying to trick Arris into saying things like, no matter, everything you do is intimacy. Like, Arris has had intimacy redefined for him about 5 different times. Patrick Cal says, like, yep, that's intimacy. I held the door open for her. That's intimacy.
He's like, I looked at her. That's intimacy. I mean, because even in the group section, which we'll get into a little bit later, but Arris said that he was leaning a certain way, and then now the experts really got him thinking. So that's clearly, I was leaning towards a strong no. And now maybe a little bit. I'm not on the fence, but I'm looking at the fence.
Mm-hmm. So do we want to what have I been for them? A 2 or a 1 lately? You've
been a 2 the last 2 episodes.
Let's bring them down to a 1. Since it's spy reunion, I'm not feeling it.
Okay.
Let's put them down to a 1. And as far as decision day, what do you think their answers are going to be?
I think that we did. I'm glad that we finally got to see Jasmine with the group saying, I'm going to make the decision that's best for me. I'm not going to worry about what he's saying. I'm going to make the decision that's for me. So I think they're both going to say no.
Oh, you think they're both going to say no? Wow. That is extremely different from what I'm going to say.
You think they're going to both say yes?
I think they're both going to say yes. I think
Am I being pessimistic?
I think he's given her enough, bait for her to say yes into thinking that something could happen later. And I think he's hopeful for some reason. Is that the right word? I want to say. I don't know if he's lying or what when he says something could happen after decision day, but he said this so much. I feel like he's going to say yes to more time and to see what could happen after decision day. I think he wants this to work, but it's not going to work.
I feel like that's the Arris he's trying to present to us, that the Arris, like the one that's going to try. But I don't know if that's the reality. Like, I think it's for us to, I mean, obviously I don't think he's this calculated, but I think it's for us to think he wants to try.
I do think there's a part of him that wants to be quote unquote successful. So he's going to say yes on decision day to make that happen, to say, listen, I'm trying. I'm doing all I can to make this work. I'm saying yes and seeing where we go after that. I'm being a good boy. So I think that's really going to be it. But yes, I of course.
I'm teacher's pet.
Yeah, of course by reunion, it's going to be done, I think.
Yeah. So our one would be validated.
I'm loving this. We have different opinions.
We do.
So we will see what happens next week. Interesting.
Right.
But
we'll line up for Chris and Nicole.
Oh yeah. What couple are we going to next?
Let's knock out the couple that doesn't stand a chance.
Not even a little chance.
Not even a fake chance. Gina and Clint. So we start out this episode with Clint giving us like a selfie video where he was caught off guard by the comments last night. He said that she said he had odd, strange energy. He said it doesn't feel good. He's still processing it. And it just doesn't make sense. This is where they were trying to clip together Mac's comment and this. But you hit the nail on the head that this was about this comment from Gina.
I'm becoming an expert edit reader. I'm in my bag with this. I can tell what they're trying to get us to do, trying to get us to think. I'm in it. I'm here.
You are. I'll give you that. So we get a confessional. So Gina and Clint are doing a date where they're riding horses. So we get a confessional from Clint. He feels like the comments from Gina were just a character attack and he wants to rise above it. And so when he meets the lady that's going to be their guide for the horses, he kisses her on the hand.
He grabbed her hand and kissed his own hand, I guess not to be too forward and creepy and actually kiss her hand, but he actually kissed his own hand. And Gina's eye roll was epic. Like she almost lost her eyes in the back of her head. Right. This idiot. Oh my god.
Yeah. She was like, this is annoying. Okay. That was unnecessary. We get a confessional from her. She says that she didn't have to give him a harsh review, but he has some growing up to do. Gina, he is not one of your employees. Or is she looking at this like a performance review?
That's definitely the way she's coming about this.
Yeah, she's like, I am the salon owner. Relationship owner in this relationship. I gave him a harsh review.
Let me get you a personal performance plan, Clint.
Right. So they ride the horses. I just feel like we could probably go back very far with at least one couple every season is doing a horse riding date. They always have the drone, seeing them ride the horses.
This is the second horseback riding activity you've had this season. We had one on the honeymoon and now one here. This show loves horses.
And am I being influenced? Because I kind of want to go ride a horse.
Oh boy, yeah. No, thank you for me. I'm good.
Really?
Yeah, I'm very good. I don't need that in my life.
I think it would be fun. I haven't ridden one since like middle school on like a field trip.
I mean, besides the ones that you own, of course.
I mean, when I go to my stable.
Yeah, of course. It's not really riding for pleasure. You're riding for, for business.
Yeah. Right. So they are drinking a bottle of 2014.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Isn't 2014 the year the show started? Is that why?
It is the year the show started, but I don't know. Because she was like, oh, I haven't had a bottle of 2014 since the wedding.
That'll be my guess of why they give them a 2014 bottle of wine.
Yeah. He said he really enjoyed this and he really needed this because it's been an emotionally crazy week. And he brings up what she said about him having odd and weird energy. She's like, I don't know if I use those exact words. And so we get a flashback of her saying like he was bizarre and outrageous. So then we cut back to them and she's like, well, you are bizarre and outrageous. And he says it was just out of left field. And she says sometimes he's loud and he's a drunk person and he was like on special occasions.
You are a drunkard.
Right. And then he says, well, I'm glad we talked about this. The way I had to rewind because I was like, oh, I missed something. I missed like the resolution of this for sure. Is rewound a word? I'm not sure.
Yeah, rewound's good.
I backed it up. And then I was like,
I hit the rewind button.
Yeah. I was like, wait, where did they resolve anything for him to say, I'm glad we talked about this?
They didn't. She definitely said, I'm sorry if you felt. No. He literally explained to you that how he felt. It's not if you did. You did. So the apology should be, I'm sorry that I made you feel this way. Now, I'm sorry if. The if is a big word in an apology. Yeah.
He's like, I felt hurt. Well, I'm sorry if you felt hurt. He's like, no. I was hurt. Right. Well, I'm sorry if you felt hurt. Like, what?
Because I don't think I really hurt you, but you're saying you did. But I mean, if you actually did and you're not lying to you right now for some reason, I'm sorry, I guess.
She's like, I didn't mean to hurt you. If you felt hurt, that wasn't on me.
That's your business.
That's on you.
I do think this...
people actually feel that way in the world.
Oh, yeah, unfortunately. I do think that this whole Clint and Gina thing is stemming from... They had an agreement. We're going to get through this. We're going to be smiley. We're going to be nice for the cameras. But Gina is out here throwing bombs. Gina's out here making criticisms of Clint. I'm sure Clint's like, you know how much stuff I got in the chamber right now that I want to say about you, but I haven't. I've been very friendly and cordial because that's what we agreed upon when we got back from the honeymoon, and we both probably determined this isn't going to work. Let's just ride this out for 7 weeks and be nice to each other. But you had to come out here throwing haymakers at me and my personality and my character. And I that wasn't the agreement. That's what I feel like he's like thinking right now.
Yeah, he's like, Gina, that was not in our contract that we discussed.
It wasn't our friend contract.
This was out of left field. That wasn't friendly behavior.
Yeah. I feel like Clint might come into the reunion throwing some bombs because by that point he will have seen more footage. Mm-hmm. We've seen him on the after party being a little butthurt about things that Gina has said.
Yep.
So I think by reunion time, I think he's ready to let some true feelings loose.
For sure. I could definitely see a scorned Clint showing up to the reunion. So then he's glad that they talked about this. He says, look, we both came into this looking for our forever. And she says, we've covered what, couples cover in like 2 years and 2 months.
And she also said that, and this is for me to find out what I truly want in a marriage, as if this is, in a way, marriage prep. This really helps me find out what I really want. Marriage, yeah,
for my actual marriage.
This is my starter marriage to figure out what I actually want in a marriage. So this was a good experience. I now know I don't want crazy people.
Yeah, this was my 8-week trial run. Mm-hmm. I'm going to cancel before I really get charged.
Yeah.
But I'm going to actually do the real thing with someone else.
Yeah, because I'm not going to tell anyone about this that I meet after this.
Right.
My next marriage will be my first marriage as far as anyone else is concerned.
Mm-hmm. That's what she's hoping. So yeah, outside of the group discussion, that was all we got from Gina and Clint. What are you going to rate them?
It's a stone cold 1. It's a basement level 1.
Same. I just don't. There's nothing about them that screams, let's say yes to more time.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
So
What about for decision day? I feel like that's pretty obvious as well.
yeah, both no.
Yeah, both big no's.
Big no.
It would just legit shock me if either one of them said yes. They both
Right.
have to know there's nothing here. But I will say, I remember Mark and Lindsay from the Boston season. We were so positive, so sure they were both going to say no, and they shocked the heck out of us and both said yes. So I'd be surprised, but never say never for anything to happen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't see them even being like Kristen and Mitch, like saying no and then riding off into the sunset holding hands and making out in the car.
No.
Like,
I think Gina is ready to just run away from Clint at this point.
For sure.
So I cannot wait to get away from this guy and his cringy jokes.
Yeah. So that leads us to our last couple.
Yes, Chris and Nicole. We start out their date. They're going to go to a private little dinner catered by a private chef, provided by Nicole, apparently.
Yeah.
Chris wants to know, is Clint the private chef? No, Clint's not a private chef. It's Chef Chance who comes out and serves them. She makes a dumb little joke about saying yes to the steak on decision day instead of Chris. In a confessional, she does say that this has been every fantasy she's ever had about having a romantic dinner with her husband. This is it. Chef Chance comes out and gives them a creme brulee for their dessert. They make a little game out of who can flame their brulee faster. The chef starts by making a joke. He says, "Oh, looks like Chris is starting to win." Nicole says, "No, I'm winning. I'm winning this." And someone stepped in and told the chef, "You had better let her win this, or it's going to be a problem."
She has flipped a Monopoly game before.
And she has a torch in her hand, so you're going to want to have her win this. So it's just like, oh, actually, you know what? Looks like Nicole won. See, now everyone's happy. Everyone is satisfied. Everyone's cool. She tells him it is mind-blowing how comfortable they are with each other, but she does not want them to get lost with this comfortability and turn into friends and forget what made them fall in love. He says, well, the biggest thing for me right now is us staying consistent in our communication. He says, if we went months living apart, I think we could go backward. She says, well, you know how I feel. I want us to live together. And if we can't, is it because we don't feel we're ready and confident in our relationship? And it's really important for us to figure this out. He says he hears her, but he thinks it's best to wait until after D-Day to figure it out because it's a huge commitment to live with each other. And right now, they need to focus on D-Day and then focus on the rest.
Which is the exact opposite of what Nicole wants.
I said, oh, Christopher, this is interesting. I think this is a new kind of take from Chris because it felt more like, yeah, we'll get it all sorted out before decision day of where we're going to live. Now it's like, maybe let's hold off till after decision day. Makes me look at Chris with a side eye. Makes me look at him a little suspect that maybe Nicole has been right to really question this all along.
Right, because this is like, he's like, okay, I'm sorry. If y'all are committed to each other, decision day is not that big of a deal. If anything, it's yeah, we both say yes.
He goes, it's a huge commitment to live with each other. Sir, you got married to this woman. Is that not a huge commitment in and of itself? It's like, and now you're hung up on the living together part? I think you're doing it backwards.
Yes. I don't know. I don't know where his concern is. I don't know why he's trying to like it's like he sees this planning of where to live as like, oh, this could potentially be stressful. Let's put it off. Where it's like she has made it clear, and we've talked about this on past podcasts of just like the compromise. And I just don't feel like either one is compromising in the situation for how to plan for it. Like she wants every detail planned out. He wants to wait till after decision day. There is a middle ground. There is a, hey, these are the list of places and we can figure, like, let's narrow it down after decision day, maybe.
And to be honest, Chris, it sounds like kind of like what I would do, where I would be like, we got time. And then the day before your lease is up, you have to move, like, maybe we should start looking for places. Because they're going to kick us out tomorrow. Like, literally, they're going to put my stuff on the lawn.
Men.
Maybe we should have found a place, you think? So I don't know. It's a new kind of tune from Chris, and I'm worried about him.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. And I wonder what is really going on with him, because this man is scared to say anything in the confessional now that he's exposed himself to her.
So I just had a confessional and I said something real bad.
Right?
Just want to let you know. She does say she wants to make sure that she's not making a decision based on this love bubble they're in now. And she tells him, so whatever happens on decision day, I love you no matter what, and that will never change. And she's to make sure that she's making the right decision for her and for them. Do you think this was off of what Chris just said? She's like, okay, let me go ahead and make a contingency plan just in case I gotta say no, so that I let you know that there's a possibility I'm gonna say no if you say no, or if you do some crazy stuff on decision day.
Right. Like I could totally see Nicole saying no if she feels like let's say she goes first and she feels a no coming from him, her saying no, because it's like her protecting her own peace and just being happy.
I definitely see her pulling a Micah from Love Is Blind, like, I would prefer if you went first, actually.
Yeah, it'd be best for both of us, actually, if you go first.
Like, yeah, like totally. I would really prefer if you went for first.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like for real. But I could even see her psyching herself out into thinking that he's going to say no if she goes first, that she would say no, anticipating his no, and he'd be like, I was going to say yes. Like, what are you doing? I thought
she looks at the expert. I meant no.
Well,
I don't want to end our relationship today.
Did I say no? Did I just say that? I think you were tripping, because I definitely said yes. Montre, you know what I was going to say, right? You knew I was going to say yes. So let's just redo that. Let's retake the decision day, right? And I will say yes, like I was supposed to, and you can, Chris, say yes. If you're still going to say yes, are you sure you're still going to say yes?
Right.
I can definitely see herself psyching herself out that way.
Yes.
Because she likes to talk herself
trying to get ahead
circles.
of it.
Yeah. And that was really, literally it for them. They had one segment by themselves. This show was like, yeah, y'all know the deal already.
Right.
This one segment and get out.
We're not gonna waste any of our hour and a half on more of y'all.
So let's see if this little segment changed your mind at all about them. What is your rating for them?
I'm gonna give them a 5.
I'm gonna give them a 5. I just wonder if there's gonna be a shocker and Chris says no, because that would really shock the heck out of me, I think. Although he has shown this weird quirk in this episode, but I think if he did that, the show would tip its hand and be like, you'll never believe the shocking response from one of these groups.
Right.
I think they would have done that. So I think we're going to get our what should be happening here with both of them saying yes.
But with the way that they have spoiled some things on their show, like let's say the Clint and Nicole, Clint and Dom kiss that we have yet to see again. I could see them if Chris said no, showing Chris saying no.
Yeah.
They would just a bombshell, and then Chris is like, no, I don't want to be married.
Yeah.
And it's not even just a Frankenbite, that's actually his decision.
Yeah, they
And
definitely
we would be
would
like,
have
what
teased
the
it.
heck?
They
Yeah.
would have teased it if it was happening. So I don't think it's happening. I think they're both saying yes. I think they're gonna be together still by the reunion. I think all is probably well and good with them.
Yeah, the only thing I could see happening for Chris to make him say no would be if he wakes up the morning of decision day is just like, this doesn't feel right. Like, I just don't feel like this is the decision I should be making.
He wakes up to a pineapple left by Nicole.
Right?
I can't do this anymore.
She
I gotta
sends
get
him
out.
she sends him like 20 pounds of real pineapples the morning of.
I gotta get out of here. I can't do this anymore.
Exactly. So yeah, so we're both at 5s.
We're both at 5s. I think we're
Okay.
both at they're gonna say yes on decision day.
All right.
So yeah.
Cool. So they did do one last outing with all the guys and all the girls. So the guys got together. Arris was like, hey, I'm not saying anything about Mac and Gina. I'm like, what is there to say?
Right, but for what we saw, there is nothing to tell.
Yeah. So what are you talking about? The ladies are together and they said, this is the time to decide who's gonna be a bachelorette again or staying married. Back over to the guys. Clint brings up what Gina said, but basically that. And then the ladies, Gina says, like, yeah, this was like one of the hardest expert visits. Like, I don't want it to be me giving him a complex. What are you talking about?
She did say he's just charismatic and crazy, and that is so not a turn on. I said, charismatic is not a turn on. You don't want someone who's charismatic. I guess you are perfect for Mac. Right. That's not what you want. If you want someone that's not charismatic and quote unquote crazy like Clint is, I think Mac is a very
right
good
up her
choice
alley.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Back over to the guys. Chris says, it is bothering me that she keeps questioning decision day. And Clint's like, I'm waiting for y'all to have your first argument. And Clint says that Chris is like he's like a Labrador, or more like a golden retriever. Then we hop over to the ladies and they're like, yeah, Chris is like a golden retriever.
Gina and Clint must be talking about this a lot in their apartment because they both said the golden retriever.
Yes.
And that must be they have nothing better to do but to talk about the other couple.
Yeah,
nothing else is going on
themselves.
with right. Nothing's going on with them. So they have defined Chris as a golden retriever many a time.
Yes, for sure. That wasn't just like, they're so in sync.
Yeah.
So Nicole does not want Chris to lose himself trying to make her happy. She's like, she knows he is a live by the day kind of person. And Jasmine finally arrives. I was like, y'all knew she was coming. Y'all couldn't wait.
Well, they were talking about. She's like, yeah. She says she's stuck in traffic, so we just gonna get started.
Right.
We got a group of dudes coming. We don't have time for this. We gotta get in this group talk because we in about 20 minutes, a group of guys are gonna be stalking y'all and coming up on you. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So Jasmine arrives. Then they direct the conversation towards Kirsten. Kirsten says that they're making it work and they are trying to put in the work. She thinks it'll be better over time if they just relax, let it be, let go and let God. She might as well have said.
Because it's in God's hands now, so nothing else I can do.
Nicole says, we know Shaq is emotional. And I just hope they can just brush it off so they can get back to their foundation.
Here comes expert Nicole again. I know you guys are something special. I saw it before you did. I know you're both emotional. You both get too much in your head. So you guys just need to cut it out and figure it out because I know you're supposed to belong together because I'm an expert at this.
She's like, I know y'all better than you know yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me.
I saw it before anyone else did.
Yeah. So we cut back over to the guys and Shaq does tell them that he finally met her father, but he's like, dang, why did it take so long? He did say that her dad was cooking for his granddaughter.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "That's really sweet," and he's like, he's optimistic that this could be something great because he could even see him being a father figure to him. Clint was like, "Do y'all have fun together?" And Shaq's like, "Well, like we haven't in this process, but we could after."
Y'all haven't had any fun? Like, what? No fun. Why
I feel
would you?
like Kirsten's answer would be different.
Yeah, I definitely think that Kirsten would say, "Yeah, we definitely had fun." And Shaq only can focus on the negative, so he's of course going to say, "Yeah, I haven't had any fun. This has been doom and gloom this whole time. I've been miserable.
Right.
Poor
All
little,
my life, I have
poor
to
little
fight.
broke down Shaq. I've never been happy."
And so Clint asked if he could see himself being single again. And Shaq was like, he doesn't know if he wants to be single again. He says, he waking up next to someone every day it makes him feel secure, being able to say good morning to her every morning.
So you are secure, Shaquille.
Right. Pick a side.
This guy.
Clint asked Arris if he misses the single life, aka does he miss the streets? Arris says, well, yes and no, because I was so used to it for so long. I was used to the quick like the temporary gratification, but I know what I want. And he says, like I actually did miss Jasmine during the retreat.
Imagine my surprise. I missed my freaking wife.
Right? Exactly. So we head back over to the ladies, and Jasmine and Gina are talking about their pole dancing class. And Jasmine says Arris was throwing money at her, and he said she looks sexy. And Nicole says he says a lot.
I said, ooh, the shade. Throw by Nicole.
Right.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Then Jasmine says she feels like their meeting with the experts went well, and Jasmine says that Arris does say things will get better after decision day.
Kirsten was like, "Oh, really? That's great.
That's awesome.
Good." Well, their Cheshire cat smiles like, "That's so great."
Right. So we head back over to the guys, and Arris says he got a lot out of that meeting with the experts. Got a lot out of it. He says everything Jasmine touches, she's passionate about, and he wants to be like that. And like she easily could have snapped during this process, but she hasn't. And he's like, she creates this like peaceful environment. And Clint said,
What did Clint say?
the little Shangri-La for you.
Oh yeah. It's like a Shangri-La, like real peaceful environment. I missed that part. I didn't remember when he said it. I didn't write it down. It's a Shangri-La.
I was like, I was like, Jason's gonna have a heyday with that one.
Yeah, I remember that he said it, but I didn't write it down for some reason.
Yeah. So Arris says he felt like he was, like I said earlier, he felt like he was leaning one way, but the experts gave him something to think about. So he wouldn't be saying that if he felt like he was leaning yes. And now the experts are making him question, should I say yes?
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of tipping their hand here with that.
Yeah. So we head back over to the ladies. Jasmine says she can't think about like what Arris will say. She got to think about her own decision. Says whatever happens on decision day, she's standing on what she wants. And Gina hopes that Arris makes a wise decision.
Gina did say something that I finally agree with Gina about. She says, Arris really outkicked his coverage. Thank you, someone, for saying the truth here. That Arris does not deserve someone like Jasmine. He is definitely, fighting above his weight class.
Right.
We definitely had some conversation in the Facebook group this week about attraction and if we should be upset at Arris not being attracted. I honestly think conventionally that, if we're talking leagues, that I think Jasmine is probably above Arris's league.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, she's a freaking beauty pageant queen. Like, what are we even discussing?
Yeah.
Experts have said she is beautiful.
She's
certified.
Ambitious.
Confirmed.
Yeah. Right. She's very ambitious. I feel like if she had met Arris at a bar and they were just kind of like, oh, hi, like, what do you tell me about yourself? She probably wouldn't have been interested in Arris.
Probably not. I think we see. I think we see an example of that coming up.
Right. Exactly. So some guys, just random guys, show up to the girls' outing, and
Some random guys that happen to have mic packs on.
right. They walked in the street with mic packs that were hooked up to the Married at First Sight equipment. I'm not sure how that happened.
Yeah, random.
Yeah, really random. Nicole says that they're celebrating some people staying married and some people no longer being married.
Gina in the back is like, some of us might not be.
Yeah,
like married. Like we know Gina's decision. Gina is ready and waiting to get this done and over with.
Clear as day. So the guys are talking to Nicole about her husband, Chris, and they're like, "Oh, so he's a grown beta." No, because they called him a beta, and she's like, "He's a grown man." They're like, "Oh, he's a grown beta."
I think they also say he's a boy. He's a grown boy. Like, they are really sticking it to Chris while he's not there. And yeah. I think poor Nicole was kind of just backed into a corner of like, I didn't mean to say it like that. Kirsten has to kind of come to her rescue, like, all right, leave her alone.
Right. Then Nicole's like, when you put two betas together, one of them gets killed.
Oh boy. Nicole had a few to drink already at this point. She was,
yes, absolutely,
like Nicole does. She likes to take charge of things because she's, introducing everyone to the group. She's like, "Hey, this is this." She's just taking charge of the whole thing.
Yes. So there's a guy talking to Kirsten, and she said he's a playboy. He's like, "Why I gotta be a playboy? Why can't I just be a nice guy?" And we get a confessional from Kirsten. Like, I'm just ready to go home and go to my husband.
I'm ready to go home and be totally ignored by my husband. I'm ready to go home and for him to act like I don't even exist. For him to walk by me and go into the bedroom. I can't wait for that part of my night. Now, during this Kirsten talks to the Playboy segment, I couldn't really focus because I could still hear the guy in front of her.
Yes, the guy, he was like, please tell me what he was saying.
This if you need an example of mansplaining, this is mansplaining. He tried to explain about men and women. He's like, as a man, I'm expected to sacrifice. Like, we only got little clips and excerpts from it, but he was definitely mansplaining to whoever he was talking to. I think he was talking to Nicole or something. He was definitely mansplaining to these ladies about relationships and about women and men.
I literally was like trying to watch this Kirsten and this random guy conversation. I was just like, can this guy in the front hush? Like, why are we picking up so much of what he's saying?
Well, you see, in a relationship, what you really got to deal with is if you can lead your woman into where she's supposed to be.
It's so annoying.
You got to be the leader as a man.
Oh my goodness, so annoying. And so then there's a guy talking to Jasmine, and we get a confessional, and Jasmine's like, she basically says she likes the attention, but she's a married woman. Then he comes over into her confessional. He's like,
barged into the confessional.
Just barged into it as if she is not busy working. And he has his keys. He's like, I got one of these outside. I got a 740. It's one of the 740s. We should go outside. And Jasmine's like, okay, all right.
You see this? You see this right here? 2016. Nissan Altima. Boom.
Outside?
Come on, outside.
Is it one of many?
I only got one. It's not in good condition. The cracked windshield, almost 200,000 miles on it, but it's outside. Come on out.
Oh, it's not inside? You didn't drive it inside?
I didn't drive it inside the establishment. It's they make me park it outside. But
in the elements?
Yeah, come on out. Only a couple dents in the doors. Come on out. This guy.
Yes.
This guy was something else. I feel like you could probably smell him coming a mile away. This seems like the kind of guy that would just douse himself in cologne, thinking that that's the way to go.
Yes.
This group of guys, honestly, it feels like 2 months ago, Arris would have been in this group of guys.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
These guys are for the streets. These
In a
guys
week, he'll
are
be back in part of these
right.
group of guys.
These guys are the streets. Arris will watch this back and be like, "Oh my god, those are my boys."
Yeah.
Maurice, that's Maurice.
That's my old
Hitting on
roommate.
Jasmine. Oh my gosh. But real talk though, 740 guy and Jasmine seem to have a lot in common. I mean,
Yeah, they both breed dogs.
yeah, they both breed dogs. They are. He said something about being a mentor or something like that, training people. So I mean, listen, maybe take the number. Just take the number. Like, don't
For
call until
safekeeping.
after decision day. But just take the number. He seems like kind of a douchebag, so maybe not.
I mean, her husband is only snoozed on dating app, so
Yeah, I mean,
she shouldn't.
I'm just snoozing this number I got.
Right, it wouldn't be a
Until-
crime
Yeah,
to just network. What if she needs some some tips for Duchess's next litter?
hey, but this guy was definitely he was number one. He was definitely performing for the camera.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He said, "This is my moment to shine.
Mhm.
I'm going to screenshot this as much as possible, put it on my Instagram,
Where do you think
and
they
see what
really got?
happens."
Where do you think they really got these guys from? Because it seemed almost as if the show had rented out this bar, restaurant, club, whatever you want to call this thing, wherever they're at.
Uh-huh.
Because there's no one else there that we saw except for the ladies and this group of guys.
Yeah.
Did they find guys on the street? It was like a bachelor party or something. Like, hey guys, come on in. We got a real fun time for you. You want to be on TV?
Right. I'm trying to see were there any like open casting calls in 2022 for guys
Just random
in
general
Nashville.
guys.
Right. Just guys. But as you could tell, or as you could probably have guessed based on my very general description, there is not. So
Yeah.
I found a lot of other casting opportunities, but not what I'm looking for. So
They were definitely prepping these guys. Okay, you guys all gotta come in here, be obnoxious, hit on the ladies that are for sure married. Just come on in and just be your most awful self.
right. So yeah, we did get next time on that next week is decision day. And Shaq
We did get some coming home, talk.
I know I did touch on a couple of them
Yeah.
after the group
I know it's
discussion.
interesting.
Who's
Nicole-
really stood out to you?
Nicole came home like talking about, this guy was hitting on Jasmine, really treating her like a queen. Things that she be hearing from her husband. Like, oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. Other than that, there wasn't really much going on at all. But yeah, next time on.
So next time is decision day. Very excited about that. It is here, ladies and gentlemen. Finally. We did see Shaq said, like, I want to love you through thick and thin. Nicole says she doesn't want a marriage where he's just appeasing her. All things we've heard before.
Just a bunch of things to kind of throw you off or not throw you off. You kind of can take from it whatever you want.
Yeah.
I didn't really get a sense of much of anything. Gina and Clint didn't come on. They had one little part, just one. Everyone else got like a couple of people saying a couple of things. Gina and Clint got one thing. I forgot even what she said, really. But it was something about trying or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're finally here at decision day. I cannot.
It was kind of trying to make it seem like she was going to say yes.
Of course, they're trying to mislead us. Of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to finally get to one of the endings of this chapter. Much like a one of these movies with mid-credit scenes, it's going to just be one ending of many.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, that is a wrap on this week's Married at First Sight US. What you got for me for UK?
So for the UK, there's no need even really going couple by couple here, because there really was just one overarching theme, overarching situation of these two episodes that we got in this 2-hour block here.
Okay.
And that is the Matt and Whitney of it all.
Okay.
If you recall last week, Matt of Matt and Gemma and Whitney of Whitney and Duca have pretty much decided that they don't want to be with their people they have been matched with. They want to be with each other. With Matt, Whitney wants to be with Matt. Matt wants to be with Whitney. So this
was in like last week that they had a preview of them almost about to kiss.
Yes.
Okay.
So what happens here? We get into a group dinner where everything kind of comes to a head, right? There's a lot of crosstalk. There's a lot of accusations. This gets very heated. And at one point, Matt takes Gemma aside to like a little bench, not even out of really earshot of the dinner, and basically tells her like, "Listen, this is not going to work. Me and you are not going to be a thing. I feel like I have feelings for Whitney, so."
He does this in the middle of the dinner?
Yes,
Oh
because it kind of comes out through the dinner that, you know, they have feelings for each other, not from them, but from other people around them, where they kind of reveal to Gemma in a way that, yes, Matt has feelings for Whitney, Whitney has feelings for Matt. So Matt's like, okay, well, let's just go ahead and rip off the Band-Aid, basically. So he goes and he tells her, like, listen, this wasn't going to work out in the first place. Like, I wasn't feeling it. So, you know, I feel like it's the best if we just cut this off here and now. She gets very upset, starts yelling and screaming at him. It was definitely an eventful dinner party. And, you know, of course, after this, the rest of the group has to kind of chime in and yell at Matt for what he's been doing. Yell at Matt, yell at Whitney. There's a number of storm offs from a number of people in this scenario. Whitney storms off at one point. So, yes, there's that issue where we have that, where Whitney and Duca have both, Gemma and Duca have both been kind of blindsided by this at this dinner party. And by the end of the dinner party, it's basically done and dusted that both of these couples are not going to move forward. That is when we get the bridge scene between Matt and Whitney. Where, yes, they actually do kiss, because as far as they are concerned,
this is after they're over.
Yes, as far as they're concerned, their relationships are over. They are free and clear to do whatever they would like to do. So they meet up on the bridge, they talk for a minute, and then they do indeed kiss.
Okay.
But, that's not where it ends.
Okay.
They slept together that night.
Oh my God.
We get a shot of them in bed together because they hooked up the night before. You know, at that night, after they had broken up with their spouses, they're still at their retreat place.
Yeah.
Where this is at. So they, you know, had sex that night. So they wake up together. They get the little interviews with both of them saying they feel so great. You know, this is the first time they've really felt good in this experiment. Blah, blah, blah. So then we get to commitment ceremonies.
Okay. And they have to sit with their original couple.
They start this off sitting next to their original spouses. Okay. I do believe that Matt and Jim are on a love seat where they're kind of apart. But Whitney and Duca are, yes, kind of because they got to cram them into these seats. So they're very close to each other. But yes, they do start off together. So the experts go through all of the other couples. All the other couples are, yep, we're here. Yep, we're good. It's really just kind of everything's all right. And we are saving the best for last. Okay. Because once they get down to the last two couples, which are Whitney and Duca and Matt and Gemma, they say, okay, so we are aware of an issue that's happening. So we're going to kind of turn this into kind of like a foursome discussion about what's happening.
Oh, gosh.
And that's where, you know, everything does come out. Everyone says, I don't want to be with Whitney says, I want to be with Duca. I want to be with Matt. Matt says, you know, I don't want to be with Gemma. I want to be with Whitney. And that's basically the gist of it. There's not as much fireworks here because both Duca and Gemma have been pretty much informed that it's over. So there's not much surprise there for them. But then comes the discussion of Whitney and Matt say, listen, it didn't work out with who you matched us with, but I want to continue this experiment with Whitney / Matt, whoever's speaking at the moment. They say, yeah, we both want to continue this together inside the experiment. And now you can imagine all the other participants are like, whoa. No way. This is not what you signed up for. This is not what the experiment is. Like, you have totally betrayed the experiment. There's no way that you should be allowed
right. Because at this point, you've chosen your partner.
Right. So that is not what this is. So there's a couple people that are on Matt and Whitney's side that say, if they want to, they should they're allowed to stay, blah, blah, blah. The experts say, listen, we're going to make a decision on this and we will let you know and later. Like, not now. We will discuss this and we will let you know. So that's going to be that's a big cliffhanger into the next episode, whether or not the experts are going to decide whether or not to let Matt and Whitney stay inside the experiment as a couple. Now, from the preview, it sounds pretty negative that they're going to not let them stay, which makes me think they are going to let them stay.
Right.
In classic.
Always think the opposite.
Right. So I think that would be pretty weird and interesting. Because in the Australian version of MAFS, this same kind of thing happened, and they pretty much said, no way, you're not staying here as a couple. So you can get to step in. Elsewhere in the episodes, April and George make up. They're good. Jonathan and Sophie, who Jonathan was the guy that was like brutally honest, and I'm going to tell you what I think about your body, and if I don't like you, if you'll put on some weight. Something funny came up with him, because when they sit down in front of the experts, he kind of gets taken to task by the experts, and it's almost like he's in the principal's office where he tries to explain himself. He's like, yeah, I don't really care what other people think of my opinions. And the expert goes, so you don't care what your wife thinks about what you have to say? He's like, well, I didn't necessarily mean it like that. It's funny when you get put in these like situations where you're talking to a sort of authority figure in a way, how that makes you really think about what you're saying and makes you backtrack on what you're saying. Like, it's not that I don't care, it's just that I blah blah. When at first he was steadfast and I don't give a crap what anyone thinks, I'm going to say what I want to say. So that part was funny. More Thomas, who was one of the gay gentlemen, just going off on everyone, the other ladies at the dinner party, talking about how April and George are the fakest relationship he's ever seen. And they have a little tiff about that, but that's kind of par for the course for Thomas at this point. Nothing outrageous about that. But yeah, this block of 2 episodes was primarily focused on the Matt, Whitney, Duca, Gemma square, if you will.
Gotcha. So your guess right now is that they are going to allow them to go through the experiment.
That is my guess, because the preview could have gone 3 ways. It could have led me towards they're going to let them stay. It could have been totally neutral, where they just don't really give us any indication, or it could have gone that they're going to kick them out. From the preview, it makes you think they're going to kick them out, but that is obviously an edit that they want us to think one way and they're going to do another. So I do, at the end, believe they will let them stay, which I don't think they should. I honestly think that Whitney and Matt are really playing this up to stay on the show, to be honest.
Absolutely, because why would you want to continue? Like, what's really at that point, what's the purpose?
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not even sure if they actually even slept together or if this was a kind of a staged thing. It felt, in the moment watching it, it felt odd and set up. It felt weird.
Yeah.
So I'm just not sure if that actually happened, or if they're saying it happened, or if even production is, kind of creating this illusion in a way.
Right.
Oh gosh. The production on the international versions feels a lot more. I wouldn't say scripted, but massaged in a way. As to more of a dramatic narrative.
Massaged. Do you think that they could have encouraged this?
The producers?
Yeah. Like, you like him, go for it.
Oh yes, for sure.
Okay.
As I think I mentioned in the last episode, where they had these talks about, they would say, oh yeah, I fancy them, I like them. Production made sure they got into a room together.
Yeah.
To talk, even before the big feelers came out. It was like, oh, you think you fancy this person? You don't like your spouse? Let's accidentally get you into a room together, just the 2 of you, to talk. So yeah, I definitely think production helped this along in a way.
Well,
Yeah.
if they know the situation that happened in Australia, I could see them going the route of no, y'all can't. Because
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the experts that are on the UK one is one of the experts from the Australian one, so she's already been through this.
oh, okay, but okay, well so that's good because another thing I didn't even think about because I'm thinking like my first thought was like Zach and Bliss from Love Is Blind, but then I'm thinking these people aren't even married or like
No.
they're not married. Everybody else is married.
Well, no, honestly, no one else is even really married.
Oh, it's not like legal.
It's not legal because in the UK you have to have 30 days of notice or something before you can legally get married. So none of these marriages are quote unquote real marriages. They're just using it's kind of a civil ceremony in a way, but you're not really married. You're just quote unquote committed to each other, I guess. So you're not legally married in the UK.
Oh, dang.
Or I think Australia may be the same way. So I mean, it's even more of a kind of like what does it matter if we cast?
Let them in.
If we cast people that don't really match each other, we're just doing this for funsies.
Right, right. Well, okay. So we will find out next week for sure if they're staying. Well,
I mean, there's not much left of the experiment anyway for them. They're doing the homestays next week, which are home visits where you go to see where they are living and how their real life is. So that's gonna be next week for all the other couples. And
so they do that towards the end rather than at the beginning, like the US.
Yeah, towards the end. Yep. So we'll see what comes from that, and hopefully there'll be more couples that are actually featured next week because it really felt all the other couples really got a short shrift. It's like as they go over the commitment ceremony, like yeah, we're good. Okay, get up, leave. Yeah, we're good. Okay, get up, leave. Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Let's get to the real meat of this.
Right.
So that's your MAFS UK.
Your doctor, or you almost threw in your Pastor Cowboys.
Yeah, that's your MAFS UK minutes. You're welcome. For your MAFS UK minutes. But other than that, I got nothing else for you.
Perfect. Well, thank y'all so much for listening. We will be back next week to talk about Decision Day, episode 20. Finally. We made it, y'all. I mean, we still all have more after that, but Decision Day is like you said, it's closing one chapter. We're moving to the next chapter. It's a 2-chapter book. Well, maybe like a 3-chapter book. You think of like
it's a process.
Decision Day. You think the reunion would come first and then the Where Are They Now?
And that's a good question. Are we going to get a Where Are They Now since we're getting the right after Decision Days? Are the right after Decision Days going to replace the Where Are They Now, or are we going to get 3 episodes?
It was a 3-episode Where Are They Now?
But the 3-episode the thing after Decision Day is right after Decision Day. They're staying with them through Decision Day.
Yeah.
Not 6 months later. It's right after Decision Day. Yeah. So I'm wondering if we're going to get 3 episodes of that right after Decision Day, because whatever it is, it's going to be 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And then are we going to get a 2-part reunion and then that's it? Or are they going to go even further and do a Where Are They Now after the reunion? I think they could totally cut out the Where Are They Now after the reunion, because lately the Where Are They Nows have been around the same time they tape the reunion. So it's really superfluous and redundant.
Like yesterday when we were at the reunion.
Yeah, it's like there's no real new information here. It's just they wanted to have awkward conversations that we didn't have at the reunion at this Where Are They Now dinner, retreat, whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
So my guess is this the 3 after Decision Days and then 2 reunion specials.
Okay.
I did watch Decision Day Dish.
Okay. And you enjoyed it.
Was pretty good. They had Woody and Amani, Bennett, Alexis, and Jamie and Doug. And they all had good things to say. Basically some of the same stuff we've been saying, but they were nice updates from everyone about what they're doing. Bennett is with new lady now. Some people I know in the past I thought that he was maybe with a guy, but he is with a lady. Woody and Amani just being all in their king and queenness. So fabulous.
Talking about their baby.
Yes, so fabulous. They had an announcement that they had to say, but it was only that this is their 3rd wedding anniversary, which was like, okay, that was
my gosh.
Jamie and Doug, they're fine. Alexis, as some may or may not have heard, is now dating a woman. So that's the update for her, which
On
is.
average, women in the United States are
You
5
said
feet
Alexis?
Did I hear this? Oh my gosh! Thank
On
you.
average.
Yeah, thank you, digital assistant person. I just thought I was talking to her. Anyway, so yes, that was the update for Alexis. For
She's like,
her,
you spelled my name.
yeah, for real. And she said some really cool things. So everyone had some good things to say. So it was a really good time. I don't usually watch those things, but I just kind of let it play, and I was like, oh, this actually is kind of interesting. I mean, I had nothing else better to do, I guess.
Yeah, I did see the clip of Alexis. I can't remember if it was on Twitter or Facebook, but basically she did say that she is bisexual, and she did let Justin know that. So he did know that like during the process.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not anything brand new.
Yep.
So there was no after party, just
No
the
after
decision
party
day.
this week.
Okay,
Yeah, no
gotcha.
after party. I think Rudy mentioned that after party she's talking about was in 3 weeks with the one with Jamel Hill.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Jamel Hill is probably busy with playoffs right now.
Yeah. Because they tape them live.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all so much for sticking with us. Make sure you go join the Facebook group, A Perfect Match Podcast. This week, the password is 740. And also make sure you go subscribe to the Love at First Sight feed and leave us a 5-star rating and review, and we'll shout you out here. Also, make sure you go subscribe to the RHAP Has a Podcast YouTube channel because we are on YouTube. Jason.
And hit those thumbs, those likes
Yes.
down here somewhere.
It's gonna be probably over here. Yes.
Yeah, like over there. Yeah.
Your finger is too close
over there.
Camera.
Somewhere down there or down here. I don't they are probably. The one that goes like this. The thumbs up like this. Not the
Why
one like
are you
this.
having such issues
like
putting
this.
your hands in the camera?
Like
there
this.
we go.
Not like this. Like this. Not this. Sorry.
Oh,
I have spatial awareness issues. This one, not this one.
What are you up to? Where can people follow you?
I got a couple shows happening over on Post Show Recaps right now. Actually, we just wrapped up The Power on Amazon Prime. Me and Sasha Joseph talked about that show. The season finale just aired this week, so you can hear me and Sasha talk about that. Also on Post Show Recaps, you can hear me and Marissa Garza kind of shred the show The Citadel because it's kind of bad. But you know, as we are aware, even bad things can be fun, and we definitely do that over there on the Citadel Post Show Recap. So check me and Marissa out there as well. What about you, Asia? What besides globe trotting have you been doing?
Well, that's it. So y'all can follow me on all social media at Aysha like Asia. That's AYSHA like ASIA. We did do a live podcast for Big Brother Canada. So I did do that podcast with the winner of season 10 of Big Brother Canada, as well as Rob Sesternino and Taryn Armstrong and Melissa Denny. We had a great time. We even had some past some Big Brother alum come up and join the podcast, like Kevin Martin, Anthony Douglas. We had Adam Pike. So we had some great guests. There were tons of Big Brother Canada alum there, which was pretty cool just to see in person. Like, wow, y'all are right here. So definitely go check that out. I did take over the RHAP Instagram, but by the time this is coming out, those probably will be expired. And let's see. I think anything else that I'm on, I was on the Survivor B&B. So if you watch Survivor, I had a great time being on the Survivor B&B. That was so fun with Mike and Liana. And yeah, now the Big Brother Canada finale has happened. There's no more Big Brother Canada coverage. So Big Brother coverage will be on a nice little hiatus until Big Brother 25. Comes this summer. So very excited about that. It's funny. A whole Big Brother season has happened while we've talked about Married at First Sight.
Yeah, for sure. A whole Survivor season will have happened by the time you finish coverage of the season of Married at First Sight.
Exactly.
And I did confirm, you guys, that Asia took in the triple digits of pictures in Canada.
Yeah, I did show Jason the amount of pictures, and I didn't even start strong. I was like, wait a second, I'm not taking enough pictures. And then I got to going. So definitely had so much fun meeting so many patrons. I've met some listeners of this podcast. So that was so much fun. So if you did come up and say hi, thank you so much. Appreciate everybody that listens and then just supports Rob Has a Podcast. It was so much fun and so cool just to watch Survivor and Big Brother Canada with patrons and everyone else. And I will say, I think, yeah, anything else that I have coming up, I will post about it on Twitter. So just follow me and you can be in the know. Thank you all so much for sticking with us. And we will be back next week for Decision Day. Bye.